Hi, good morning. This is Rachel coming at you from Mini Ministry. Wanted to share with you today one of my most favorite accounts from the Bible. For me, one of my favorites is the story of David and Goliath. Perhaps it's because I'm only 4 feet 10 and a half inches tall, and I like stories of the underdog when he fights and wins against the big guy. That could be part of it. But really, as I go through and I keep rereading the story, a couple things pop out that I think get missed when we read and we tell this story. And I wanted to share those thoughts with you this morning. David and Goliath is a story of how no matter how little you are, you can persevere over the greatest of triumphs. Here's Goliath of Gath, who is huge. He has 125 pounds of armor. He is giant, tall, big, just humongous of a man. And he stares at the Israelites saying, sure, send someone out to fight me. And if you win, we'll become your slaves. And if we win, you become our slaves. And the Israelites just kind of trembled in fear. They were across the valley thinking, who are we going to send that could possibly take out this giant? He's huge. There's no way one single of our men could take him down. They were probably for sure that they were at a loss, and so they're at a standstill for days on end, not really knowing what's going to do. And yet every day Goliath comes out and thumbs his finger at him and says, come on, I'm waiting. Who are you going to send that's going to take down this almighty Goliath? But then one day David shows up to take food to his brothers who are fighting. And he stands there and he looks around at all these soldiers and leaders and can't figure out why nobody is fighting Goliath. And he thinks about it and says, well, let's figure this out. So he goes to the leader and says, well, how about I go and fight him? I can't imagine how hard it was for them to stifle their laughter. Because that would be like me going up and telling you I'm going to fight this 7-foot man with just me, and I think even I would stifle my laughter because I'm small and unassuming, and what possibly could I know about taking down a giant? Well, that's the problem. We assumed incorrectly, as did Goliath, that size mattered. And really, that's not what mattered at all. See, David knew what too often we ourselves forget, that it's not the size of the person, it's the battle. It's what you're fighting with. I love the line that David says to Goliath when he goes down to meet him for the battle. He says, you come to me with a sword and a spear, but I come to you in the name of God Almighty, who is the head of the armies of Israel. And at the end, he says, the battle is not ours, it is the Lord's. See, we fight God's battles. We forget that He's the one fighting for us. The underdog didn't win because he was just a good aim, which obviously he was great with a slingshot. But he knew what everybody else was forgetting in that army, that God was on their side, that they were not fighting alone, and the battle wasn't theirs. I want to encourage you today, whatever Goliath you're facing, whatever obstacle is in your way, whatever you are up against, remember that you are not alone. The battle isn't yours. God is fighting with you and for you. And if nothing else, remember that it's not all you, it's Him. I have to remind myself that all the time. It's not me, it's Him. We're going to win this battle. Not because we're strong, not because we're capable, not because we're smart or intelligent or we have all these different capabilities, which may help. But we win the battle because our trust is in the Lord. Have a blessed day, everybody. Until next time.